Thanks, Coach. It's an honor. It's an honor to be here. I sat where you sat, man. I wish I can do it again, right? So I really don't, I really wish I knew what he meant by it, but I don't know if he knew how he would have impacted, right? I think if he had an opportunity to do it all over again, I think he would have did it just a little bit different, right? So I was sitting on my porch just waiting because I knew what I went through, but I'm like, maybe this point right here would change his perspective on how he see me, right? So I just wanted him to shift his perspective, how he saw me, because I had a problem, how I saw myself. So as he pulled up, I'm sitting there, I'm excited, right? And I got this bag, and in this bag, there's a whole bunch of letters from all of these different universities. I'm like, yo, like when he walk up these steps, I'm gonna show him it's gonna be a game changer. So as this man who is my father, who I couldn't call him dad because he had another family on the other side of town, so we had to keep it a secret. So I could only call him Nate. But this day Nate was coming to see me. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm going to get validation from him this day. So I'm sitting there, and as he pull up, I open up my bag, and I'm like, Nate, look. And he's like, what is that? I'm like, these are letters from a university. They recruiting me. You know his response? You too small. So here I'm a 17-year-old boy waiting for validation from this man who's supposed to be my father. See, he didn't know like 5 to 7 years prior, he didn't know what happened. Like what happens to you, or sometimes the decisions you make when you a shorty, if you don't correct them, like it goes into adulthood and you don't even know it. So I'm sitting there playing my man. How many people play video games? Right? So me and my boy Remy, I'm a little older, so don't kick my back in, right? So me and my boy Remy, we sitting there playing Nintendo, right? So come on, see? So when we're sitting there playing Nintendo, and the game that we was playing at this time, it was like the dopest game ever at this point. It was Tecmo Bowl, right? So you remember? Come on, thank you. So we was playing Tecmo Bowl, and I was the only one in the hood in my area who had the video game. So when you come over to my crib and you play me, like yo, it's my rules, it's house rules. So I used to smash them all. So what happened? Remy, this dude, it started switching. Like it was like he started to get closer to me, like almost beating me. But this one time, like Remy was about to score Bo Jackson, right? He did that. Remember that little glitch? So Bo Jackson was on his way to score. So you know what your boy did? It's 2 buttons on that video game. One say power. Which one did the other one say? Reset. Come on, man. So you already know. You already know. Before Bo Jackson gets to the end zone, I'm like, reset. You didn't win, son. So like it's house rules. So, but what I didn't know when I got to Michigan State, when I got under pressure, yeah. Your boy did what? He hit, come on, man. What did your boy do? He hit reset, man. Because after we got smashed 55-10 by Nebraska, this was Nick Saban's opening debut. They're like, yo, Saban, why didn't you pull out your starters? Like it was a shellacking. Like, why didn't you pull them out? He said, I'll tell you why I didn't pull them out. Because many of them quit. They quit. So now I wasn't going to pull them out. I needed to see what they was made of. Because I came here to win. See, me, I didn't know what it was to win, right? Because things came easy. I didn't know how to grind. I didn't know how to go beyond my place of quit. I didn't know that. It was easy to quit. I'm telling you, you already know it's easy to quit. They say one more rep. Come on, man, I don't got one more rep in me. I'm good. It's easy to quit. So when Saban started, calling people out, Like, yo, you ain't coming at me like that. Not me. I'm starting, son. You're not coming at me like this. But what happened when he started calling me out, I remembered when my daddy said, you too small. I remember hitting the reset. So instead of me taking the opportunity for me to say, you know, I'm going to just dominate and I'm going to prove to Saban that I deserve to keep my position, no, I became a cancer to the team because I sabotaged on purpose. Because I say, you know, you're not going to take this from me, homeboy. I'm going to give it to you. Because I got so many things taken away from me, so I refuse to allow you to take something from me, so I'm going to just give it in. So that way when I go back to the crib, just say, yo, they not giving me a shot. They want those boys from the D to ball out. They got something against boys from Jersey. So that was me making excuses. But for me to get to the place where I was then to where I am now, there's 3 things I had to do. Please help me. I want you to write down some key things that you're going to use over the next week, over the next month, over the next 60 days. And I want to check back with your coach to see if you guys are operating at this level. So the first thing I had to do, I had to keep it 100, man. Like real talk, I had to keep it 100 because I went back to the crib telling everybody in the hood that it was Saban, it was the coaches that was keeping me from excelling. But really, I didn't know how to win. I hit reset, man. When things got difficult, I hit the reset. You know how after the game is over, you know what happens? What do we watch? We watch film, right? So your boy faked the injury so I could go hang out with the trainer because I didn't want to watch my demise. I didn't want to watch how I played. I didn't want to watch how I quit on the field. It was easier for me to point the finger while I quit. So I had to take responsibility and say, Sean, it's not them, homeboy, it's you. You have to look at you in the mirror. And some of you in here, I need to ask you before we go further, like, what is your reset? Like at what point do you hit reset to say, I don't have anymore? Look, I quit on my team. Not only did I quit on my team, word up, if I didn't address that, I would have quit on my children who I didn't even have yet. I would have quit on my wife who I didn't even have yet. So I had to learn how to take responsibility. So some of you in here, you got to look at the man in the mirror. I know you tired, bruh. I know you tired. I know your dad probably wasn't there. I know you probably don't get support. I know they recruited somebody in your position and you just thought it was going to be yours. I know that. I get that, bruh. But what you going to do? Let me tell you, it's not about you. It's about the man that's sitting next to you. It's about what's on your chest. You made a commitment. They didn't promise you was going to start. They didn't promise you how many numbers that you was going to get that work. It's earned, bro. It's not given. I didn't know that because I was an All-American, because I was a blue chipper. They ain't had like 5 stars and 4 stars back then. It was just you a chipper. We didn't have social media. So the second thing I had to do, instead of resetting, I had to reboot. I had to reboot. So it was this story, right? So the story was it was this bird, and this bird was real sweet, like super sweet. He was dope, and people used to come to this area where the bird was because he was beautiful. He was arrayed in like the most elegant feathers that they've ever seen. So people used to come from all over to see this bird, and they used to snap photos of this bird. And this bird, right? He saw this man walking by with a box, and he was like, yo, this is my version, all right? So he was like, yo, my man, what's in the box? And he was like, oh, it's just some worms. So he was like, what can I do to get those worms out of your box? And the man said, yo, if you give me a feather, I'll give you a worm. The bird like, cool, that's all it takes. So he plucked the feather, gave it to my man in exchange for a worm. This took place over a long period of time. So long that the bird had no more feathers, that the bird was no longer sweet. So what I'm saying, You can't negate the process. You can't avoid it. Like you can't avoid it. Listen, man, you guys couldn't control what happened last year. I thought you guys lost 15 people. Coach was like, nah, bruh, we lost 21 last year. That was part of the process. You didn't ask to lose that, but life happened and you had to respond. It's not what happened to you, it's how you respond to what happened to you. It's what you say in those moments. It's what you say when you don't feel like going to practice. It's what you say and then what you do, my man. Like you got one shot at this, like one shot. I wish I can suit up again, but I can't. All I can do is just come and talk to you. And my dream was to go to the NFL. So you hearing it first. My dream was to go to the NFL. I can't do it anymore physically, right? But I'm still going. I'm going through with my mouth. And I'm going to find a way, because this time I'm not hitting the reset. I knew how to quit. Your coach didn't know me. He didn't know me from Adam. But on the strength of somebody else knowing me, he said, on the strength of me knowing him, I heard you're a good dude, I'll bring you in. So it's how you treat people. It's how you honor people. Come on, man. And the last thing you have to do is execute. See, a lot of people talk it, but they don't know how to execute the plan. You know, we draw up the plan, we draw up the play the way we would like for it to go, but there's a defense on the other side. There's an offense on the other side. And they plan and they practice the same way that you do. So this dude, Hernan Cortez, right? He was what they call the conqueror, right? He used to go around and he used to conquer territories. So what he did, he wanted to conquer Mexico. He was from Spain and he went to Cuba and he wanted to conquer Mexico. And what my man did, he had 500 people and he wanted to go take this land because he heard that there was a lot of gold on his land. So what he did, he talked to his troops, just like you guys. You guys are the troops, right? So he walks up to his people. He said, yo, there's a reward on the other side. And it's going to take all of us to do it. Like if we want to be a champion, we can't be a champion just in one position. We can't be a champion as a whole until we're a champion in each individual assignment. So if you're a special teams dude, you need to go all out. If you scout team, you need to go all out. Your role is just as important as the dude whose name is on all the lights. You'll get your moment. You'll get your moment. But you just have to be patient. You have to grind. So you guys, he walks up to him and he said, yo, we're going to go over here and we're going to conquer this land. They're like, cool. So they get on their boats and they heading over to Mexico. And on their way over, he hear a lot of murmuring and complaining. You know dudes like that. When we on our journey, they talking about the coach, they murmuring, complaining. They walk into the locker room, I'm not getting reps, or this is happening. Come on, you know those dudes, man. You know the ones who want to be a cancer. Don't kick their back in. What you got to do is speak to their identity. Don't allow them. See, my dudes, man, I know they love me, but they were kids just like me. They didn't check me. They allowed me to be a cancer. They allowed me to hang myself. That's your brother sitting next to you. How dare you allow him to hang himself? You got to man up. You got to take responsibility. So when he gets to the other side, because he heard the murmuring and complaining, so what he does, he said, before we go in here to battle, because I hear what y'all saying, he said, you see those boats? He said, what I want you to do, I want you to take some lights to them, some lighter. We're going to burn every single boat because there is no going back. You said you here, there's no going back. We burning every boat. So I need to ask you, what boats do you need to burn? Because we're not going back, baby. It's time to ride. I'm telling you this, it's time to ride. Let's ride. All we do is win. There's no failure in us. We can't lose. We're going to ride out this year. I don't care who they put in front of us. Imano, Imano. Some of you cats from the hood, you saw gunplay, right? And then you're going to get on the gridiron and then you're going to fall back? Really? Where they do that at? You wasn't built for that. There ain't no retreating. Coach, it's time to ride. Thank you.